Speaking of cast and, the chemistry, when you started the casting process of Abbott Elementary.
Jennifer Aniston has finally broken her silence, and her latest confession is sending shockwaves through Hollywood. For years, the world assumed her greatest heartbreaks were Brad Pitt or Justin Theroux. But Jen just admitted that the absolute love of her life was actually someone else entirely. A secret relationship she'd kept guarded for years. It's a romance that defined her, broke her, and changed her forever. So, who is the mystery man she's still mourning? Stay tuned, because we are diving deep into the hidden romance Hollywood tried to bury. Abandoned at 9, the childhood wound that shaped Jennifer Aniston. Before the glamorous red carpets, the high-profile divorces, and the heartbreaking loss of the one true love she secretly kept guarded for years, Jennifer Aniston learned a brutal truth at a very young age. Nothing lasts forever. Long before she became Hollywood's golden girl, the man she thought would be her ultimate protector turned his back on her. Jen was just a little girl of 9 years old when her father, actor John Aniston, packed his bags and walked out, leaving her world completely shattered. Born on February 11, 1969, in Sherman Oaks, California, Jennifer seemed destined for the spotlight. Her parents, John Aniston and Nancy Dow, were both actors, giving her a rich mix of Greek, Italian, Irish, and Scottish roots. Her father hailed straight from the beautiful Greek island of Crete, and her connections to showbiz ran so deep that her godfather was none other than the legendary TV star Telly Savalas. Jen grew up in a busy household with 2 half-brothers, John Mellick and Alex Aniston, but the dynamic quickly shifted when the family packed up and moved to the bustling streets of New York City. Growing up with an actor, Dad didn't mean glitz and glamour. In a strange twist of fate, Jen was strictly forbidden from watching television as a child. Of course, being a natural rebel, she always found clever ways to sneak around the rules. When she turned 6, her parents enrolled her in a strict Waldorf school, and by the time she was 11, a spark ignited. She discovered the magic of acting, realizing that the stage was her true calling. But just as she found her passion, her home life fell apart. The painful divorce of her parents when she was 9 left a deep scar, teaching her early on that security was just an illusion. Determined to forge her own path, Jen enrolled at Manhattan's famous Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts. Under the strict guidance of her drama teacher, Anthony Abeson, she threw herself into serious plays by legendary writers like Lorraine Hansberry and Anton Chekhov. Success didn't happen overnight. Jen started from the very bottom, taking on gritty off-Broadway roles in plays like For Dear Life and Dancing on Checkers' Grave. To pay the rent and keep her dreams alive, she hustled hard in the real world. She worked grueling hours as a telemarketer, slammed plates as a waitress, and braved the chaotic New York traffic as a bike messenger. By 1988, Jen landed her very first movie role, an uncredited tiny appearance in the famously terrible sci-fi flick Mac and Me. Desperate for a breakthrough, she appeared on The Howard Stern Show as a spokesperson for Nutrisystem before making the bold choice to move back to Los Angeles to chase the big leagues. Hollywood, however, wasn't ready to hand her a golden ticket just yet. Her first major TV roles in shows like Malloy and the television adaptation of Ferris Bueller's Day Off were disastrously short-lived, facing immediate cancellation. She pushed forward, starring as a camp counselor in the TV movie Camp Cucamonga, and later took on a role that would haunt her for years. A spoiled teenager running from a killer creature in the 1993 horror movie Leprechaun. Critics later labeled it her absolute worst performance, and Jen herself has admitted to cringing over the memory. The hits kept coming, and not the good kind. After starring in 2 more failed sitcoms, The Edge and Muddling Through, and doing quick guest spots on shows like Quantum Leap, Jen hit rock bottom. She was deeply depressed, exhausted by 4 failed television shows, and ready to throw in the towel. In a moment of pure desperation, she bumped into NBC executive Warren Littlefield at a Los Angeles gas station. She practically begged him for reassurance, asking if she should just give up on her dream. Littlefield told her to keep fighting. Just a few months later, that chance encounter paid off when he helped her secure an audition for a brand new sitcom coming to NBC's fall lineup. Originally, the producers wanted Jen to audition for the role of Monica Geller. But fate intervened. Courtney Cox was chosen for Monica instead, and Jennifer was cast as the stylish runaway bride Rachel Green. The choice was a massive gamble. Jen even turned down a coveted spot on Saturday Night Live just to take the role. That gamble changed television history forever. Friends became an absolute global phenomenon. From 1994 to 2004, the world fell head over heels for Jennifer Aniston. Her character's iconic haircut, the Rachel, became a worldwide fashion craze, and her on-screen chemistry with David Schwimmer's character, Ross Geller, turned them into television's favorite couple. The fame brought astronomical wealth. By the final season, Jennifer and her female co-stars made history, landing in the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest-paid TV actresses of all time, pulling in a staggering $1 million per episode. Jen scooped up 5 Emmy nominations, winning for lead actress, and took home a Golden Globe in 2003. While dominating TV, Jen wanted to prove she could conquer the silver screen, too. She jumped back into movies with the romantic comedy She's the One, followed by her first leading role in Picture Perfect alongside Kevin Bacon. Critics began to notice her undeniable star power. She kept pushing boundaries, playing a woman in love with a gay man in The Object of My Affection, and starring as a fed-up waitress in the cult classic Office Space. She even voiced a single mother in the critically acclaimed animated movie The Iron Giant. Then came 2002, the year Jen finally broke the mold. She starred in the independent drama The Good Girl as a depressed, unglamorous cashier trapped in a lifeless marriage. It was a massive risk, but it paid off beautifully. Legendary film critic Roger Ebert officially declared it her ultimate breakthrough, praising her for decisively breaking away from her squeaky-clean Friends persona. Bear with me for one moment. This is short, and I think it's genuinely useful. You've probably heard that crossword puzzles and brain games keep your mind sharp. There's only one problem. The research doesn't really support it. What researchers DID find in 2013 is a specific biological system that governs whether your brain stays clear, and 6 things that are almost certainly blocking it right now. Go to brainresearchreport.com, or it's linked below if that's easier. I think you'll find it clicks into place very quickly. Back to the video now. With her acting chops proven, the box office numbers skyrocketed. She starred opposite Jim Carrey in Bruce Almighty, playing the girlfriend of a man who suddenly gets the powers of God. The movie smashed records, raking in a massive $484 million worldwide and becoming one of the highest-grossing films of the year. She followed that mega-hit with the romantic comedy Along Came Polly, opposite Ben Stiller, which topped the box office on its opening weekend and pulled in $172 million globally. Jennifer Aniston had officially reached the top of the mountain. She had the money, the global fame, and the critical respect. But behind the dazzling smile, the billion-dollar franchise, and the sparkling Hollywood lights, The echoes of her childhood abandonment and the secret romances she guarded so fiercely were quietly shaping the woman she would become. Team Jen versus Team Angelina. The paparazzi craze that shook Hollywood. When it comes to surviving the brutal, unforgiving meat grinder of Hollywood media attention, nobody plays the game better than Jennifer Aniston. After skyrocketing to global superstardom in the mid-90s on Friends, her face was splashed across every single magazine on the planet. But the real feeding frenzy started after her devastating 2005 split from Brad Pitt, who infamously and instantly moved on with his breathtaking co-star, Angelina Jolie. Suddenly, the paparazzi were obsessed, and wild rumors about Jen's love life became the world's favorite obsession. Yet, over a glittering career spanning decades, Jen has somehow mastered the art of weathering every single media storm that tries to rain on her parade. She has faced down the most invasive, downright rude questions about her personal life with total grace, class, and an undeniable confidence that leaves fans cheering. Instead of bitter, she has stayed remarkably respectful towards every single man she has ever loved. Looking back on her high-profile divorces, she boldly told one fashion magazine that her marriages had actually been very successful in her own personal opinion. She explained that when they came to an end, it was a mutual choice made simply because they all chose to be happy, proving that sometimes happiness just cannot exist within that specific arrangement anymore. Long before those heavy marriages, though, Jennifer's very first high-profile taste of Hollywood romance was with actor Tate Donovan. The gorgeous couple started dating way back in 1995, right as Jen's star was exploding thanks to her hit sitcom. They were young, beautiful, and deeply in love, dating for about 3 wonderful years before the cracks started to show, leading to a painful split in 1998. While they tried desperately to keep things amicable, fate threw them a massive curveball that made the breakup completely agonizing. Both actors were massive stars of the decade, and right as they were calling it quits, Donovan landed a guest starring role on her show as her character's new love interest. Having to play lovers on television while your real-life heart is breaking is a special kind of Hollywood torture. Donovan later confessed that they only filmed a handful of episodes because the emotional weight of their real-life breakup made the situation incredibly painful and tough to endure. He laughed about how fans always get the timeline twisted, explaining that people mistakenly assume they met on the television set, when in reality, they had already dated for 2 full years before that and were completely finished by the time they shared the screen. As soon as the chapter with Donovan closed, Jen walked right into the romance that would define pop culture history with the arrival of Brad Pitt. This absolutely iconic couple began dating in 1998, looking like a real-life fairy tale as they cruised through a 2-year romance straight to a lavish wedding in 2000. For 5 years, they were Hollywood royalty, a constant media fixation that reached a boiling point when Brad signed on to star, alongside Angelina Jolie, in a sultry action film. The chemistry on that movie set sparked global rumors that shook the world. By early 2005, Aniston and Pitt announced their shocking separation, finalizing their divorce in October of that same year. Instantly, rival fan shirts hit the streets, and the media scrutiny on the newborn romance grew to an absolute fever pitch. The new couple managed to weather that massive storm, staying together for over a decade and raising 6 children before their own explosive split years later. But what about Brad and Jen? Time heals all wounds, and these 2 exes have officially found their way to a beautiful, supportive post-divorce friendship. They practically broke the internet when they reunited for a virtual charity table read, and later shared a super sweet, highly publicized backstage moment at a major award show. Jen has always taken the high road when it comes to her first husband. She previously reflected that while they are not in daily communication, they wish nothing but wonderful things for each other, adding that nobody did anything wrong and it was simply a case of life happening. Rebounding from a public divorce like that is nearly impossible. But Jen tried to heal her heart by spending time with her handsome co-star, Vince Vaughn. Sadly, this rebound romance was incredibly short-lived. The paparazzi were so starved for details on Jen's life after her divorce that they hunted the couple relentlessly, making it impossible for a normal relationship to survive the pressure. Vaughn later admitted that the media circus was just too much to handle, explaining that he never enjoyed the intrusive paparazzi side of fame. He noted that while liking someone and spending time with them was completely fine in isolation, he spent the vast majority of that relationship desperately finding ways to avoid being drawn into the overwhelming public attention. Once things fizzled with Vince, Jen stepped into a relationship that caught absolutely everyone off guard. She entered a chaotic, on-again, off-again romance with notorious music bad boy John Mayer. They made their big debut at the Academy Awards, looking stunning but completely mismatched. And after they finally broke up for good, Mayer went running to the press to make some seriously shady comments about their age gap. Mayer expressed regret that it did not last, but claimed a major wedge between them was his constant use of social media and text platforms. He hinted at a massive generational difference in how they communicated, which created an organic divide that they simply could not bridge. Even after those public comments, Jen refused to stoop to his level, proving once again why she is Hollywood's classiest act. She still protected his character in interviews, explaining that they still cared deeply for one another, and that it is simply a painful reality when two people love each other but realize they need to go down completely different paths. Fortunately, a much deeper love was waiting just around the corner with Justin Theroux. Their history actually started way back when a mutual best friend introduced them, but the timing wasn't right until they reunited on a movie set years later. This time, the sparks were completely undeniable. They announced their engagement, officially tying the knot in a gorgeous secret ceremony at their home. Sadly, this fairy tale also came to an end when they made the heartbreaking decision to split. Unlike most Hollywood breakups, though, Jen and Justin have remained absolute best friends, constantly supporting each other and celebrating each other's wins. Still, Justin admitted that being married to one of the most famous women in the world came with a heavy price tag. He confessed that while an artist wants to be known purely for their contributions to film or literature, the intense public curiosity about their private life forces a person to completely train their eyes away from the media coverage just to stay sane. Just when fans thought they knew everything about Jen's love life, she and David Schwimmer sent the world into an absolute tailspin during a television cast reunion. Sitting on the couch together, David dropped a massive bombshell by admitting that the legendary on-screen romance between Ross and Rachel was almost entirely fueled by real-life feelings. He shocked audiences by revealing they were crushing incredibly hard on each other during the early seasons, but described it as two ships passing because one of them was always in a relationship, leading them to respect those boundaries and never cross the line. Jennifer smiled and echoed the beautiful memory, recalling how she told her co-star it would be a total bummer if their very first real kiss happened on national television, which is exactly what ended up happening in the famous coffee shop set. Instead of messing things up with a messy real-life romance, Jen revealed they made a magical choice to channel all of their genuine adoration, tension, and deep love for each other straight into their characters. It is just another reminder that through the heartbreaks, the global rumors, and the intense Hollywood spotlight, Jennifer Aniston always knows exactly how to turn real pain into absolute television gold. Why Jennifer Aniston refused to call Brad Pitt the love of her life. Even after enduring the absolute most explosive, jaw-dropping breakup in modern Hollywood history, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt have pulled off the ultimate plot twist by remaining total buddies more than 15 years later. Long before the devastating heartbreak and the endless tabloid wars, they were just two young, gorgeous actors introduced by their Hollywood managers in the mid-90s. At the time, their connection was completely platonic, and Jen later remembered thinking he was just a sweet, normal guy from Missouri. But destiny had other plans for these two icons. By the late 90s, both stars suddenly found themselves single at the exact same time. Jen had just wrapped up her intense romance with Tate Donovan, while Brad had shocked the world by calling off his engagement to Gwyneth Paltrow. Seeing a golden opportunity, their managers stepped in again and brought them together for an official date. The chemistry was instant, electric, and completely effortless, turning a simple evening into a night of pure magic. Determined to protect their new bond from the vicious paparazzi, the fresh couple kept their romance completely hidden in the shadows for months. The big reveal finally happened at the 1999 Emmy Awards, where they made their highly anticipated red carpet debut. They completely stole the spotlight, with Brad looking effortlessly cool in silver sunglasses, and Jen absolutely glowing in a stunning sequined dress. Not long after, they took their love to a whole new level during a concert in New York City. Striding onto the stage, they proudly flashed Jen's gorgeous new engagement ring, a diamond and platinum masterpiece that Brad had spent 7 grueling months helping design. The stage was set for a wedding that would go down in Hollywood history. In the summer of 2000, they exchanged heartfelt vows right beside the beach in Malibu, California, surrounded by 200 of their closest friends, family, and famous co-stars. Jen even included a sweet promise to always whip up Brad's favorite banana milkshake. The ultra-lavish ceremony was a multi-million-dollar fairy tale featuring 50,000 beautiful flowers, 4 live bands, a massive 13-minute fireworks display, and a jaw-dropping silk and satin beaded gown. Just 1 year later, they returned to the Emmys, this time making their grand entrance as husband and wife. Their professional lives quickly became just as intertwined as their romantic lives. Brad famously stepped onto the set of her hit sitcom for a legendary Thanksgiving episode, playing a hilarious character who co-founded a club dedicated to hating her character, Rachel Green. Behind the scenes, Jen was completely enchanted, later naming him as one of her absolute favorite guest stars. The power couple then decided to conquer the business side of Hollywood by co-founding an underground production company called Plan B Entertainment. They kept it quiet at first because they desperately wanted to avoid being seen as lazy actors with a vanity deal. But the business quickly exploded, suddenly pushing 17 major films into production, including massive hits that would shape their careers for years. As their empire grew, the public became completely obsessed with their romance, but Jen always kept her feet firmly on the ground. When an interviewer boldly labeled Brad as the absolute love of her life, Jen flatly rejected the dramatic phrase. She admitted she never used that kind of heavy language, explaining that while Brad was certainly a massive love in her life, she viewed him more as a brilliant, anchored constant who truly knew every single part of her amidst the chaotic madness of show business. With her career at an all-time high and her marriage feeling secure, Jen openly revealed she was completely ready to slow down and start a beautiful family with her husband. confident that she could handle being pregnant while working. But just days after the couple was spotted smiling on a romantic New Year's getaway in Anguilla, the fairy tale came to a sudden, crashing halt. They released an exclusive joint statement announcing their formal separation after 7 years together. They insisted the painful choice had nothing to do with the wild tabloid speculation, claiming they would happily remain committed, caring friends filled with deep admiration for each other. 2 months later, the actress officially filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and legally dropping his last name. The world watched in absolute shock as the divorce was finalized later that year, right as Brad began publicizing his budding romance with his new co-star, Angelina Jolie. In a raw and deeply vulnerable interview, Jen opened up about mourning the sudden death of her marriage while the entire world watched. She confessed that the ending cracked her completely open to a world of intense pain, but she chose to face the grief head-on rather than run from it. When asked about the viral photos of Brad and Angelina vacationing together in Kenya, she kept it completely real, admitting it definitely wasn't a highlight of her year, but choosing to rise above the drama. She begged the media to let everyone move on, refusing to be trapped in a toxic love triangle. 2 years after the split, Brad also broke his silence, confirming that they still maintained a deep, beautiful friendship that could never be erased by the past. He explained that matters of the heart were nobody else's business, and that he was simply trying to live his life to the absolute fullest. However, the peace was briefly threatened years later when Brad made some clumsy comments about his past marriage, hinting that he felt his life with Jen wasn't interesting and that they were pretending the marriage was something it wasn't. Fans were instantly furious, assuming he was calling Jen dull. Brad quickly released an urgent statement to fix the damage, praising Jen as an incredibly giving, loving, and hilarious woman, and clarifying that he was actually the one who had become dull to himself. Eventually, both icons moved on to new chapters. Brad and Angelina tied the knot at their stunning French wine estate, while Jen found love again with actor Justin Theroux. In 2015, Jen and Justin pulled off a brilliant surprise wedding at their Bel Air home, tricking their loved ones into thinking they were just attending a simple birthday party. Through every single heartbreak, public scandal, and massive media storm, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt proved that true bonds can survive the harshest Hollywood lights, transforming a tragic ending into a beautiful, lasting friendship. The hidden infertility struggle. Jennifer Aniston kept secret for decades, initiating what would go on to become one of Hollywood's most explosive and ongoing courtroom battles. Angelina Jolie shook the world by filing for divorce from Brad Pitt. Citing irreconcilable differences, she demanded physical custody of their 6 children, leaving Brad deeply saddened but focused entirely on the well-being of his kids as he begged the media for privacy. Meanwhile, Jennifer Aniston was navigating her own romantic shifts. After nearly 3 years of marriage, Jen and Justin Theroux shocked fans by announcing their separation. Her publicist released a mutual and loving statement explaining that the two best friends had simply decided to part ways as a couple while cherishing their deep bond. By the end of that year, Jen boldly opened up about her past, proudly describing both of her marriages as completely successful. She explained that just because a relationship ends does not mean it lacks value, noting that choosing to separate is often just a brave choice to find happiness outside of an arrangement that no longer works. Proving there was absolutely no bad blood, Brad Pitt was spotted celebrating at Jen's star-studded 50th birthday bash at the Sunset Tower Hotel. He was not the only former flame dancing the night away, as Jen's other famous ex, John Mayer, made an appearance alongside Brad's former fiancée, Gwyneth Paltrow. The real internet meltdown happened when Brad and Jen reunited backstage at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Viral photos of their incredibly warm exchange sparked a massive wave of hope for a romantic reconciliation, but sources insisted Jen was just genuinely happy for Brad as they congratulated each other on their massive acting wins. Marking the first time the former pair shared a screen since their divorce, they joined an elite A-list cast for a virtual table read of a classic 80s film to raise money for community relief. The actors hilariously portrayed romantic interests, even sharing a wildly steamy moment where Brad's character has a sexual fantasy about Jen's character, prompting a hilarious exchange that had their famous co-stars roaring with laughter. Jen later laughed off the online frenzy during a radio interview, confirming that the virtual reunion was absolutely fun rather than awkward. She insisted that she and Brad are just great buddies who speak regularly without any oddness at all, blaming the intense awkwardness entirely on the fans who desperately wanted drama to exist. Looking back on the wildest chapters of her life, Jen later revealed that the end of her marriage to Brad actually marked the beginning of a beautiful new chapter. It coincided with the final episode of her hit sitcom, prompting her to lean directly into the endings, head straight into therapy, and star in a movie appropriately titled The Breakup to completely reinvent her life. But behind the glamorous reinvented life lay a deeply painful secret. Jen finally broke her silence on the cruel pregnancy rumors that plagued her for decades, revealing a heartbreaking struggle with infertility. She opened up about going through grueling rounds of IVF, drinking Chinese teas, and throwing everything at her dream of becoming a mother, wishing someone had simply told her to freeze her eggs when she was younger. She also fiercely blasted the absolute lies surrounding her split from Brad, slamming the toxic narrative that she was a selfish career woman who refused to give her husband a child. Jen exposed how deeply unfair it is to judge a successful woman for not having kids, burying the old tabloid rumors once and for all. Decades after that legendary chapter began, new details about Brad and Jen's million-dollar wedding are still leaking out. Actor Michael Rappaport recently confessed that the lavish nuptials featured an actual wall of caviar for guests to shovel down, alongside an incredibly expensive private musical performance. Through all the high-profile court battles, secret heartbreaks, and over-the-top luxury, Jennifer Aniston continues to prove that she can survive the absolute wildest storms Hollywood throws her way. Why Jennifer Aniston stopped dating Hollywood actors for a non-famous partner. While Jennifer Aniston has notoriously avoided labeling anyone as the absolute love of her life, she famously opened up about the man who captured her heart before the world even knew her name. Long before the chaotic glare of Hollywood blockbusters and high-profile marriages, Jen shared a deep romance with fellow actor Daniel McDonald. Looking back on that sweet chapter decades later, she beautifully called him her first love, admitting that they spent 5 wonderful years together during a time when she was young and reckless. She tenderly confessed that he easily could have been the one if she had not been so young, even joking that his spirit must have guided her towards later happiness to make up for the heartbreaking loss after they split right before her massive breakout on television. After weathering a string of highly publicized romances with Hollywood elite like Brad Pitt, Justin Theroux, Vince Vaughn, and John Mayer, Jennifer has officially charted a completely new course in her romantic journey. Breaking her multi-year single streak since her high-profile divorce, the iconic actress has found a beautifully grounded love outside of the traditional celebrity bubble. Entering a completely fresh chapter, Jen has fallen hard for wellness coach, hypnotist, and motivational speaker Jim Curtis. The gorgeous star officially set the internet ablaze by confirming their romance on social media, sharing a beautiful, intimate snapshot to celebrate his birthday. Wrapping her arms tightly around his waist in a candid moment, she publicly declared him as her cherished love, letting the world know that her heart was fully occupied once again. The celebration quickly became a mutual love fest when Jim took to his own page to gush over the romance, sharing magical moments from the birthday festivities and expressing that the entire experience felt so incredible, he never wanted to wake up. He even set his romantic tribute to a beautiful love song about finding an extraordinary connection that makes the world look jealous. Jim is far from a stranger to the fast-paced world of success, though he operates in a totally different lane than Jen's famous exes. He is a highly accomplished author who penned a popular self-help guide focused on resilience, finding direction, and designing a dream life. His impressive background includes serving as a top business executive in the wellness space and working with major celebrity clients, making him someone who completely understands the intense demands of the spotlight without actively chasing the fame for himself. The public first caught wind of this fascinating new pairing during a sun-drenched summer getaway. The couple were spotted looking incredibly cozy aboard a luxury yacht off the breathtaking coast of Mallorca, Spain, sharing sweet, subtle touches while surrounded by a tight-knit circle of famous friends like Jason Bateman and Amy Schumer. At the time, insiders revealed that the two had been casually seeing each other for a few months after being introduced by a mutual friend. Jen had already been familiar with his inspiring literature and wellness work, aligning perfectly with her own deep passion for self-help and healthy living. As the summer heat faded, the romance only grew stronger. The fresh couple stepped out for a high-profile double date in Malibu with Jen's beloved television co-star, Courtney Cox, proving that Jim was quickly being welcomed into her inner sanctuary. He continuously stepped up to support her career, accompanying her to a major event for her popular hair care brand in Los Angeles. Jen brilliantly masterminded a soft launch of their relationship on social media, teasing fans by slipping a mysterious photo of Jim taken from behind into a summer photo collection. The relationship reached a major milestone when Jim proudly stood by her side at a prestigious premiere for the newest season of her hit drama series in New York City. Even though they chose to skip the intense glare of the official red carpet together, the move signaled that they were ready to be open about their bond. Since taking their love public, those closest to the star report that the entire dynamic feels completely effortless. Jen is reportedly absolutely glowing, feeling as though every single piece of her complicated life has finally fallen into place perfectly. Her inner circle has completely fallen in love with Jim, praising his calm, warm, and supportive nature for bringing a steadying, positive energy that she desperately needed. He fits right into her glamorous world, making everything feel light, natural, and incredibly good. Relationship experts have weighed in on this brilliant match, noting that a massive global superstar like Jennifer requires a partner who is completely secure, strong, and entirely stable in his own identity. Pairing a mega celebrity with a non-famous professional offers a beautiful, rare balance that is nearly impossible to maintain in Hollywood. Because Jim is deeply rooted in his own successful career as a hypnotherapist to the stars, he fully respects her world without being blinded by the neon lights. Jennifer has mastered the art of maintaining a normal life amidst total chaos, and this serene, wellness-driven romance proves she has finally landed exactly where she wants to be. What are your thoughts on Jennifer Aniston's current relationship? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.